Good morning, moms. How y'all doing today? It's your girl, Sharita, the Behavior and Literacy Strategist, coming at you from the Morgan Living and Growth Institute, where you can find solutions for your child's behavior and literacy challenges. I got a good one for y'all today, all right? And it's going to seem impossible, but we're going to talk about it really quick, okay? Hello, Evelyn. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing? Nice to see you. We have a good one today. The topic for today is teach your child to sit for 1 hour. For 1 hour. I know that sounds crazy, okay? But I taught many kids how to do that. And I'm working with my youngest right now, who is 5. She just turned 5. She's going into kindergarten. And this is something that she definitely has to improve on. So we're working on this and improving on it until she masters it, okay? So, first I want to tell you the reasons why. What are the benefits to teaching your child how to sit for 1 hour, okay? It improves, number one, improves what I call the focus stamina. That's how long a child can remain focused on a topic without becoming distracted by their environment or inviting distractions in, okay? Because kids do both. When kids become unfocused or distracted, sometimes we think that they don't know how they can't sit still. But I've seen enough kids develop their focus stamina to know that it's just temporary. This is what they're doing right now. And if you really pay attention and focus in on what they're doing at the time, hello, Julene, welcome, welcome. If you really focus, talking about focus, right? And improving our children's focus stamina. If you really pay attention, they're either becoming distracted by any little thing that walks past them or any little noise that's going on, right? They stop what they're doing and they're looking all around. You got to work with them on focusing on their task. And the other thing they're doing is if there's no distractions, they're going to bring some distractions in. They're going to call you from the kitchen. They're going to move around in their chair, not sit properly, drop their pencil, wait for you to come around and pick it up and talk to them, right? So kids are really good at doing that. So the number one reason you need to teach your child to sit for 1 hour is to improve their focus stamina. Improving their focus stamina is something that they do independently when you put the right structure in place over time, okay? So kids may, when they first start sitting down, and they have to sit, they immediately start moving around. And you have to work with them and keep that structure in place so that they learn that they have to sit there. There's nothing they can do to get out of it, okay? So that's the first thing. The first reason why we need to teach our children to sit for 1 hour is to improve their focus stamina. The other reason why, or benefit, is that they are prepared for success. That's something that we are always talk about. That's one of our success rules for Morgan Living and Growth Institute is arrive on time and prepare for success. When you put this responsibility, when the kids know that I have to sit here for this hour, that means I can't get up to use the bathroom. I can't go and get my notebook because I forgot it. I can't go get my pencil. I can't sharpen pencils. So I don't want to see kids sharpening pencils in my class. You should have done that already. Because when it's time to write, let's go, get on it. Let's go, okay? So they have to, forces them, since they know they have to sit there for a while, that they cannot get up. You can't hear me? Evelyn, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Evelyn? Okay, I'll recap a little bit. Julene, tell me if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, so we're just talking about improving focus stamina and also being prepared. When kids have to sit there, all right, good. Thank you, Julene. When kids have to sit there for 1 hour, they know they have to sit there. It forces them to make sure they're prepared before they even come into your into the class as far as the teacher's concerned. And when you're doing homework with kids at home, or a lot of kids, moms nowadays telling me, and I know from my own kids, a lot of times they don't be having homework, right? We still got to give our kids homework. And I know there's different views on that. We'll do that another live, okay? But we give our kids homework. When we do that at home, we're practicing, giving them a chance to practice sitting, focusing, and paying attention, all right? So number one reason is they are improving their focus, stamina. And number two is it forces them to be prepared for success. They have to be prepared because you can't get up. Use the bathroom before you come. Make sure your pencil is sharpened. Make sure you have your notebook. Make sure you have the book or reading you're supposed to be reading. Make sure you do all of that. Because when it's time to sit down and it's time to work, that's it. All right? Next one, it forces them to stay on task. They learn. When I say force, I don't mean we're forcing them, and I don't mean, moms, that we are working so hard to keep them on task. What I mean is we put the structure in place. They know they can't run here, 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 and here, and here. The structure is consistent every day. This is what we need from you, and I expect you to do it. So then they end up staying on task because they know, like with my students, if you have a certain amount of time to get this done, when I come back, it needs to be done. Be ready when I'm ready. All right? And if you're not ready, you lose points. Get it done, okay? So when it's time, then you say, all right, so y'all got 5 minutes, y'all got 8 minutes, y'all got 10 minutes to go. All right? All right? And then they stay on task because they know when they finish, they have to, that when I come back, right, they have to be done, they have to be prepared, okay? The next thing is they learn how to transition to the next activity. You ever notice that when your kid is, when you want them to clean up or stop playing the game, or it's time to take a bath, or it's time to, right? When they're not used to sitting and focusing on what you need them to do and getting stuff done, they're all over the place. And you have to work real hard to get them to the next thing. You have to work real hard to get them to clean up, to prepare for the next activity. Now, if that's happening at home with you, the same thing is happening in the classroom. This is a big complaint that I get from teachers. And this is something I worked on with my students when I was in the classroom. When it's time to clean up, this is my signal. I used to give them signals, all right? And I used to hold them all responsible for it. We're moving on to math. At this time, 5 minutes before math, this is what I want y'all to do to get ready. I'm not going to say it. I better see y'all doing it. So 5 minutes before math, they all telling each other, it's 9:55. We gotta finish. We gotta clean up. So they put their stuff away and everything. And then when I walk in front of the classroom, this is what I want to see. I want to see everybody with your math book to your right. I want to see your pencil and your notebook in front of you. I want your hands folded. I want you looking at me and ready. You must be ready. See, we gotta put responsibility on our kids, and we gotta make them move fast. We have to. A lot of times, what we be doing is we be slowing down, trying to get them to focus. We be slowing down, trying to get them to get ready and do what we need to do. But really, they need to be ready, and they need to catch up with us. We got to move forward. We have to set expectations, okay? All right? Now, the work, when you are doing, this is a tip, when you're teaching your child to sit, when you say from this time to this time, we're going to be working, and this is what I expect from you, right? You need a mixture of interactive activity and then independent. Interactive, independent, interactive, independent. When you do interactive, that don't mean you working so hard trying to make it fun for them, because that's what kids be thinking, okay? When kids meet with me for the consultation, at the end, you know, I work them do the consultation because I'm trying to find out what they know and what they don't know, right? So when that happens, at the end, they are tired, but then I ask them, like, so how was it? They're like, it was fun. And I learned a lot. I didn't teach them nothing. I did not teach not one thing. I'm just assessing. I'm giving them stuff, and I'm just asking them, how'd you get that answer? How'd you get that answer? What do you think about this? And how'd you do this? And how would you do that? How would you read this? What do you think this answer is? But it's a little vigorous for them, okay? So that's interactive. When I say interactive, I mean just what I said. When this time hit, be ready. This is what I expect from you. And then you're asking questions and you're teaching, but they got to keep up with you. And you're asking them questions. They have to think. They have to stretch. They have to figure it out. They have to learn. Okay? So that's the interactive part. And then a lot of times I'm like, all right, now write it down or answer these questions. Y'all have 8 minutes. I'm setting the timer now. This is what I expect when I'm setting the timer. No talking. I want to see pencils moving. I want it done. If you finish early, check your work. Give them the structure. Okay? Now, during that interactive time, They are paying attention to you. They have to keep up. They have to keep up. You might have them copy stuff down while you're working. All right, write it down. I have my students writing all the time. They have to be ready. Boom, start writing. Then when I'm ready to talk again, they gotta pay attention. Then they gotta write. They gotta pay attention. Then they gotta write. They gotta raise their hand. They gotta answer the question. They gotta move. Interactive, okay? Because kids, to sit for an hour, I know that people would say that that's too long for them to just sit. They're not just sitting. They're not just sitting, okay? They are interacting, but a lot of it, they are sitting down and working independently. Now, when they work independently, you don't want to hear nothing. You don't want them moving around in their chairs, doing all this, and twirling their finger around and doing their hair and all this other stuff, all right? Because independent work means you are doing your function independently and nobody has to say anything to you, okay? So this is, especially in the beginning, there's interactive and then there's independent, interactive, independent. But once your child gets used to the expectations, and once your child knows what the consequences are, positive consequences when they do what they're supposed to do, and they get your praise and everything, get excited, they earn, well, in my program, they earn points. And what the consequences are when they don't do what they need to do, and they learn the structure, they start to adapt. And now they are able to sit for longer. So sitting for, when I say sit, I mean work for the entire hour. That means no bathroom breaks. That means no getting up. That means no moving around. You know what I mean? That means no going to get a snack. Nah, man, you should have ate already. When you with me, it's time to work. So it's just them having an agenda in their head and understanding what the agenda is you will be working with me from this time to this time. In the beginning, interactive, independent. But sometimes my students come and it's a lot of independent work. They sit there and they're writing for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes before I come in. And sometimes I have them work with each other in the group. And I'm not involved. Magic happens then, okay? Because they're thinking and they have leadership and everything. But you want your child to get used to sitting down. And when the teacher says work, it's time to work. And when the teacher is up on the board, they're not talking, they're paying attention and they're following. And they're copying, and you want them to know what to do when they finish their work early and the teacher is not ready or the class is not ready yet. Check your work, okay? Everybody hear me okay? So I want to do a quick recap, all right? This is for improving or having your child sit for an hour, okay? Like I said before, it's all about your child taking responsibility for what they're supposed to be doing, what the expectation is during the hour, and not having a bunch of other things they're trying to do. And you working so hard to get them to focus, to get them to do their work, to get them on task. That is their responsibility, okay? So the benefits and the reasons for this is when you put this in place, number one, it helps to improve your child's focus stamina. Focus stamina is how long a child can stay focused on a particular class without becoming distracted by or inviting distractions in. Our babies do that, okay? And you might think they really have a problem, or you might think that they are calling you because they need help. But a lot of times it's, I don't know how to do this. A lot of times too is, I don't know how to do this, but how will they grow if they're not expected to look at it and to figure it out, okay? So first is to improve their focus stamina. I've seen kids in my program go from touching the screen, muting, turning the camera off, and then spinning around in their chair, getting up out of their chair, leaving the room, you know? And over there, like, doing all this so that I can keep, why do you think they're doing that? So that I can keep trying to get them to sit down because that's what they're used to. But when they come to my program, they quickly realize that just their responsibility, I put the structure in place, but you are responsible for sitting here. So I have them go from that to just sitting, like we chilling. Just sitting. When it's time for them to write, they're writing. When it's time for them to do their work, they're doing their work. And then if we do something and we spell a sentence together on the board, which they do the work, I don't spell for them, okay? Then they have to copy it and say, all right, now write it down. They have to write. Babies, 4 years old, 5, kids who've been in elementary school, they're in 5th grade and they've been struggling with this for years, middle school, high school, they all learn, and next thing you know, and that's what I'm looking for. And that's what I say. There you go. That's what I want to see. Eyes on the board, eyes on your paper, pencil moving. Okay? So they can do it. This is why I talk to y'all like, these kids can do it. You know what I mean? They absolutely can improve their focus if we put the right structure in place and we teach them how to do that. All right? Be prepared for success. Do not, moms, do not get your child's notebook for them, their pencil for them, their book bag for them. Don't get it. Let them know what you want them to do, what the required materials are. Expect them to do it. And I'll have, if I'm teaching a student one-on-one or in a group, and I'm like, all right, everybody have their pencil in their notebook, and their mom's like, oh, let me go get it. I'm like, he can get it. Let him get it. Let him get it, because he's learning to function independently, right? So she's like, okay, moms, you do enough, okay? And just like I told when I was working with AIDS years ago in my class, and they wanted to help and write things for my students and everything, I'm like, if you write it for them now, you're going to be writing for them the whole year. So let them learn to be prepared for success. They earn points for that in my class, because that's what I'm looking for. Remain seated. Not only do they have to stay in their chair, they have to sit properly, okay? And stay on task and keep up. Whatever the teacher wants right now, be ready. Whatever you're supposed to be doing independently, do it. That's what you should be doing and nothing else, okay? And transition to the next activity is a big one. Sometimes kids, they just be all over the place. They dropping stuff. They don't have their stuff ready. And sometimes they even act out because they don't want to go to the next activity. We got to work with them on this at home. We have to have the expectation. But moms, you can't be there. We can't be in a classroom and be at home at the same time, or at your child's classroom and at work, or in your child's classroom and working your business. You can't do both at the same time. But what we can do is help them develop these habits. Know that this is the expectation, and develop these habits at home, and then it shows up in the classroom. And this is what I've been seeing for years. I communicate with my students' teachers. I communicate with my own kids' teachers. When we teach this at home and have them work on these issues they have in the classroom, and they practice, they have these expectations, and we tough on them about it, but they're actually doing the work, the teachers see the difference in the classroom, no matter what it is. Whatever you're working with your child on at home, your teacher will see the difference in the classroom, okay? And then the last tip I said was independent work and interactive work. Have a mixture, so that your child can, it's all about them knowing this is my expectation right now. In the classroom, they have independent time that they're supposed to be doing their work. A lot of times our kids end up having somebody come and help them. No. No. They're supposed to, even if they get it wrong first, they're supposed to do it. Look at it. Find their mistakes. See if they can figure it out themselves first, then get help if they need. Not even help. This is my work, okay? And then afterwards, they'll learn and fix their mistakes, which that's what we work on here, okay? So have your child do their work themselves and do their best and look at it and figure it out, because then they'll take a full responsibility for it. If they halfway do it, or if they don't do it and they wait for you, that means you and your child are responsible for their work. And are you able to do that in the classroom? No, you're not. Okay, so you want your child to grow, so they have to do it independently, and then they get the interactive work. So when teachers at school doing interactive and she writing on the board, your child is ready and paying attention, and they are doing what they need to do. And when it's time for your child to work by themselves, your child is working and getting better every single time. That's what we want. All right. So this was about teaching our children to sit for an hour. Why an hour? Seemed like a long time. Because of everything I just said, and that's how long my classes are. So I just said an hour. It could be 5 minutes, but do we really want our kids to only have to sit for 5 minutes? If we're saying that, that means we don't believe that they can sit for longer. Okay? So let's go high. Let's go for an hour and help them build that up. So no matter where they go, they're able to stay on track and stay on point. All right? So teach your kids to sit for an hour and have them have it set up in a routine, run like clockwork so that you don't really have to do much. Your child already knows what to do. They getting it done. The hour becomes easier and easier and easier. It becomes effortless after a while. All right? Y'all got this, okay? I'm going to get ready for my next class coming up in about 25 minutes, okay? These are my, they're all actually in high school or on their way to high school. We're doing a summer program classes together, which is much more intense than the fall classes. And when I say much more intense, I just mean they got to see me 4 times a week, okay? They have to see this face and be ready 4 days a week, okay? Which is more than it is during the fall. So we on it, all right? So that we can go into the school year strong and better than we did the last year, all right? So I'm loving the summer program. We all tired, but we working. We getting it done, all right? So got my students coming up soon. I have a student that graduated not too long ago. I have some students that are in preschool that transitioned to the beginners elementary school. They're reading and writing, learning how to write paragraphs right now. I have students that are in math they are in the higher grades, but they've been struggling. They haven't mastered their multiplication. They didn't know their multiplication. They're learning it now and master it now. We're doing more complicated problems. We're also getting really good at reading, understanding, solving, creating math word problems. I mean, we're doing a ton, okay? And we just go to the next level. We're just learning it at our challenge level. You master this, all right, how about this? All right, how about this? How about this? I have another topic. I have like 9 already. I just keep putting them in my phone because they just keep flying in my head. But the next one I'm going to do is teach your child how to study. I've seen a lot of great results with that. So if I can get on today, again, I will. But it might be tomorrow or Saturday. But teach your child how to study. I'm going to give you tips on helping your child learn this so that they can function independently when it's time for them to study, and they can start, as one of my students was telling me, I get hundreds of all my tests now, Ms. Sharita. I've been doing exactly what you told me. And I want to talk about him and talk about what he was doing, what he told me he was doing. And one of my students recently who had a spelling list that he was struggling with, and now he is killing it on the spelling list, okay? So we'll be talking about that soon. All we want here is for our children to function independently and function at or above grade level. Is that too much to ask? Nah. Right, Julie? Right, Evelyn? That's not too much to ask. We don't care if our children have been struggling for years, reading and functioning below their grade level, are in special education, diagnosed with ADHD. We do not care. We are raising champions here, and we are improving our children's behavior and literacy and math right from home and helping them just keep growing to the next level. Hello, Shamika. I'm getting ready to sign off now. So I got my students coming in 20 minutes. Hashtag #replay_sis. All right. I love y'all. Thank you so much for hanging. For more information on my tutoring and coaching program, go to growthinstitute.mykajabi.com. That's GROWTH Institute.mykajabi.com. But good news, I'm working on an online course. It's going to be ready probably in a couple of months to launch. And I say that because it's going to happen sooner, but I always give myself some extra time, okay? And I'm going to be teaching all the tips that how I teach my students to read on grade level, how I teach my students to write a paragraph, how I teach my students to master their sight words, master their multiplication tables, how it happens so fast, how they get unstuck, okay? And tons more is going to be on there, all right? so that you can do exactly what I'm doing at home. I'm actually going to be telling you what we did in class today and how we did it, how we got through this problem, how the kids were able to solve this problem and figure this out and figure this out and figure this out, all right? So stay tuned. I'll let y'all know when it launched. Thank you so much. Believe in yourself, believe in your child, honey, and always remember that growth is unlimited. Peace.